This first photo is uh, taken in Achill. Was been taken on the 15th of March, just a couple of weeks ago, before we kind of country shut down. And it's a shot I've kind of wanted to take for a long time. It's top of Minnon Mountain, which is in Achill, so it's the where the communication masts are at the top of the hill there. You can drive all the way up as far as there, and then it's like another 15-20 minute walk up to the top where the statue of Mary and a couple of benches are. I've often taken groups from work hiking up past here during the day, and often thought it'd be a nice place to try and come up on a clear night. So thought I'd get up there on a clear night, and the night that was in it, just Venus sitting nicely above the statue, and managed to catch a satellite as well going through. And you can see a bit of a glow in the corner down there from Kiel. And just to light up the foreground a bit, just used a torch to kind of give a little bit of light towards the statue and the benches to kind of give it a bit of definition. So I would have taken that with probably, I think it was 25-second exposure. The second photo here is taken not too far from the first one. It's on the side of Minnon Mountain, so probably about 3/4 of the way up. As you're driving up along the road, there's a little bit of a lay-by to pull in, and from there you get a good view across to the north, and so you're looking across towards Slievemore Mountain there, and the lights in the distance would be Belmullet across Blacksod Bay, and looking north you get a good view whenever a clear night, and lucky enough to get the aurora. I've tried to catch the aurora many times, and this was by far the best I've seen. Really came out well. And there's a group on Facebook, I think it's North Coast Aurora Hunters. Very good for information on whenever there's like aurora activity around, so kind of it's a good one to watch out for if you're looking for them yourselves. The first time I ever managed to capture it, I've captured a very weak one just by pure accident. So ever since then, that was years ago, I've been trying to get it better and better, and this was by far the best I got. So it would have been taken with maybe a 30-second exposure, I think it was. It was from maybe 2 to 3 years ago now, and at the camera we'll take in an awful lot more light than you see. What I could actually see to the naked eye, you could only kind of, the lines going up, the purple lines looked like grey lines, and like a grey haze in the distance and grey lines going up to the sky. So it's not as quite as spectacular to your own eye, but still amazing to see. The third photo here is once again in Achill, but this time it's down in Kildownet, so it's kind of the southeast corner of the island there. There's Gráinne Wales Castle, it's one of Grace O'Malley's castles, and it's kind of sitting just along the narrow channel between like the mainland and the island, really. Just down by a pier there, and usually I try to avoid anywhere with a bit of lights and stuff where the pier has quite a lot of lighting on it. But the lighting actually helped me out for this picture here. I got tripod set up and took the photo. Usually I'd try and use a torch or something to light the foreground, but the castle being quite tall, torch would never get near the top of it, I would have thought. But just the 30-second exposure managed to pick up enough light from the nearby pier that it lit up the castle perfectly like daylight, and still managed to capture the stars well in the background. So it's all taken with one shot. There's so for once the lights actually helped out for once, which usually for nighttime photography or any sort of astronomy I'm usually avoiding lights at all costs.
Hello, my name is Stephen Hanley, and what you're looking at here is a beautiful Milky Way shot. It was taken on October the 2nd, 2016 at about 8 p.m. I'm pointing south-southwest, and the Milky Way you're looking at there on the top right hand side, you'll see an iridium flare from a satellite. Now, unfortunately now you will not see any iridium flares, and that was taken in Letterkenny at Brogues Brotty in the Wild Neptune Mountains in Ballycroy National Dark Sky Park. It was taken with a 5D Mark III Sigma lens, 20mm art at f2 for 30 seconds, ISO 1600, pointing south-southwest. Second photograph here is one of my favourite. I've called it a bridge of stars. Now I won't give you the actual location because it's on private property, but it was taken in the Ballycroy National Dark Sky Park in County Mayo. It was taken on the 8th of the 9th 2015 at 10:56 at night. It was for 30 seconds. I used ISO 3200, 16mm lens, and I used a bit of a torch to do some light painting in order to brighten up the foreground and to see the amazing amount of stars. I was pointing south-southeast, and the beautiful thing about this photograph is I made it into the IDA calendar also, which was a very big highlight in my life, which I say was very, very good. Thank you very much. All the best. Steve.
My name is Brian Wilson. I'm from Belmullet, County Mayo, and I'm an amateur photographer and an associate of the Irish Photographic Federation. I specialise in photographing the night sky. County Mayo is some of the best dark skies in Europe, so if you're into stargazing, astrophotography, or just want to catch a glimpse of the Northern Lights from Ireland, County Mayo is the place to be. So I'm going to talk about astrophotography, which is basically photographing the stars, whether it be deep sky or wide field. This is the imaging of faint, distant objects like galaxies, nebulas, comets, planets, etc. These objects are usually too faint to be seen with the naked eye and require long exposure photography to give them visualization. Many astrophotographers will have imaging equipment mounted on telescopes, which are guided to compensate for the movement of Earth's rotation. These in turn may be connected to laptops. On any given night, the photographer might take hundreds of images of just one object and use software to stack or merge all those images into one single detailed image. This is really a very specialized and complex and time-consuming method of photography. So I suppose I simplified this somewhat in that I use just a DSLR and a tripod. So my camera has built-in hardware that compensates for Earth's rotation, which allows me to take long exposures of distant objects using normal photographic lenses. Sometimes I use stacking software to merge the images, but generally I use one exposure. The images seen here are single exposures with exposure times that vary from maybe 1 to 2 minutes. I usually do whatever editing in Lightroom and final touches added in PS Elements. This image of Comet 46P Wirtanen, the green blob there on the left hand side, which was barely visible to the naked eye, by the way, and the star cluster Pleiades there on the right hand side are the Seven Sisters. This is a single exposure. So for 1 minute my camera shutter stayed open to capture the faint light of the comet. I used a Samyang 135mm lens, aperture set to f2, and the ISO of 6400. So this month we have another comet called Comet Atlas. Hopefully it will be visible to the naked eye before the end of the month and maybe into May. It's not often we get comets, so it's worth keeping an eye out for this one. Sometimes I stitch images together to make a mosaic or to give a wider detailed view of something or an object in the sky, and sometimes I just use wider lenses like maybe a 50mm or 24mm or a 14mm to get a real wide field image to capture maybe constellations or starscapes. My skyscapes are my interpretation of how the night sky interacts with landscapes, seascapes, buildings, sculptures and people. I try to reveal all the amazing night sky wonders which we can encounter here from the dark skies in County Mayo. Sometimes I'll artificially light the scenes, or maybe use moonlight for illumination, or sometimes it's just pure starlight. These images tend to be with wide angle lenses, maybe 24 or 14mm, and exposure times of between 20 and 30 seconds generally. Astrophotography images are not a true representation of what the naked eye can perceive. However, they do portray a sense of theatre, a sense of wonder and awe that captures the imagination in what is a simple time-old pleasure of just watching the night sky. Thanks for taking the time to listen and to watch. I hope I've enlightened you a little on the topic of photographing the night sky. If you want to know more and maybe learn how to get started taking your own night sky images, then you can just go along to mayodarkskypark.ie, and along the top there, the homepage, you'll see a section titled Learn. And if you hover over this, a drop down menu will appear, and just click on Astrophotography, and this will bring you to some tips and tricks that might help you get started. Thanks again for watching. Stay safe, stay warm, and enjoy the night sky.